Okay, hey guys, what's up? I'm in my dining room right now. I'm about to leave to go to Joann Fabrics to redo this chair that I found at Goodwill last week for $2.99. And I figured, you know what? It was like the perfect shape to try out doing like my first reupholster. Oh God. It was the perfect shape to try out my first like time reupholstering something. So I figured I'm going to take you along with my journey with this. So I'm about to go to Joann's. This is my outfit really quick. It's really blank in this room right now because we just got a new dining table and we're waiting for the chairs and stuff. But this is the outfit. I just posted on my Instagram story because I just think it's funny. But this is honestly what I wear every day. I have a beanie on because I didn't feel like blow drying my hair after the shower. Then I have this Essentials hoodie on, and then my Amazon leggings, socks, and then my Yeezy slides. So that's the fit. Thought I'd share it with you. This beanie's from H&M, by the way. Bag. And then we're gonna leave. Bye, Cash. Love you too. Okay, so I'm in the car now. I think I just need from Michael's. No, not Michael's. Joann's. I need fabric, which I don't know what kind of fabric I'm going for yet. I kind of think that I'm gonna go. I kind of think that I'm gonna go for like a textured, like cream color. Maybe not black. Maybe black. I don't know. It depends. If I could find a funky pattern that like looks nice, I don't know. We'll see. But other than that, I also need a staple gun because I don't have one of those. And then I think that's it. I'm gonna Google it really quick because watch me get all of the stuff, try to start doing it, and then I can't do it. Let's see. What do I need to reupholster a chair? Basic hand tools, bread knife, pliers, scissors, screwdriver, stapler. So I have all of those things besides the stapler, so we're gonna get that. Materials, oh, foam. We already, I'm not really gonna redo the foam or the plywood or the like under fabric. I'm just going to do, because there's like 2 layers of fabric on the chair right now, and we'll get into that. But so we're gonna head to Joann's now. I'm gonna put on some tunes though first. This is kind of just like a vlog version of one of these videos because I am not a DIY channel. I don't know how to do DIY things. But guys, this is the 1975. This is the 1975 playlist. My all-time favorite band. Just okay. I just had a change. I'm overwhelmed. There are so many different choices. Like literally look. This is so hard, but I'm thinking a faux fur moment. I don't know. Okay, so we have the goods. Well, we have one of the goods basically. So I'm gonna give you this is a little peek. Okay, that's a little peek. So my thought process on this, you guys, is, so I've been recently really liking, if you've seen my home, I don't know, we do a lot of like earth tones, and then we have like, as like our furniture, and then like we do pops of color everywhere else. And so what I'm thinking, so I've been really liking this, girl on Instagram. She's a designer, I believe, or she's into fashion and house design and everything, and her house is beautiful. And I take a lot of inspiration from it. And she has a lot of black, whites, and browns, and like creams and that kind of thing. So that's where I came up with this color. And then I think I'm going to paint the chair black, like the wood part on the chair black, which I'm kind of scared about. I was just going to stain it originally. I'm gonna look at Home Depot, but I think I'm going to paint it black because I just have like a very specific vision. I'll put this like Instagram pictures of her, like, of the inspiration that I'm kind of drawing from it. There's this one specific chair that she posted, and I'm like, oh, I love that chair, and I think I want to make something similar. So that's kind of what I did. And this fabric, it looked more vintage to me than a lot of the other fake fur in there, and so I kind of liked that about it. It does look a little bit cheap, but I think that, like, if you look at it through the eye of, like, maybe it's vintage, that's what I like about it. And then I also just picked up these things because I like to put charms on my shoes, so I picked up a pair, or on my sneakers specifically, a pair of, like, pearls. I don't know if you can see that. And then these gummy bears, I don't know, they're just fun. My shoe dazzle, I call it. This is funny. Anyway, so now I'm going to go to Home Depot because I couldn't find the staple gun in there. And Home Depot, I like Home Depot's website because it tells you what aisle everything is in. Like the Joann's app and the online doesn't tell you. At least I couldn't figure it out. And Joann's is like somewhere where you need to know. Like Home Depot, like you need to know, because otherwise there are like 100 different aisles that you can go down. Like the stapling stuff and the canvassing stuff, or is it in the upholstering section? Is it like, I don't know. Anyway. And guys, if you are looking to spray paint, I highly recommend getting one of these. I have one at home. It makes spray painting 150 times easier, and they're only like $3, but you can reuse them every time. But I'm gonna look for that color that I want. I think I want black. Okay, so really what I'm doing here is just doing a light sanding of all of the wood sides of this piece. So basically I just wanted everything as smooth as I could possibly get it, which is not going to be like the smoothest thing ever because it's like an old item, you know, has some wear and tear, but I just wanted to get all of this coating of the stain and like clear gloss and everything off, just so that the paint sticks better. I like to do this before I spray paint anything. And so I made sure I also got the edges really well because there were some nicks in that, and that seemed to really help. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my beautiful, gorgeous pink, completely necessarily pink, by the way, toolkit. This is just like an electric screwdriver, and I'm just taking out all the screws. This piece in particular was very easy to disassemble because there were only 4 screws on the top part and then 4 screws in the bottom. But it seems like most chairs like this have screws that hold it together, and it seems fairly easy from other videos I've watched to do this. And you want to do this obviously so you can like cover it. As you can see, the fabric goes into the bottom part, and so that's what we're going to do next. And then after that, I'm just going to wipe it down. Online said to use soap and water. I just used water and it worked fine, but I just wanted to get all of that gross like dirt and grime off, and then also like the sanding, you know, residue. And it didn't take much to do that. So yeah, anyway, next I'm going to bring it outside and I'm going to start spray painting. And my biggest tip for spray painting furniture or just anything in general is to be patient. I am the most impatient person like when it comes to this kind of thing, and I've learned I regret it every time that I'm not. So just do thin layers of spray paint, you know, and just like let it do the whole thing, let it dry for 5 minutes. Not a long time. You don't have to like fully dry every coat, but just like enough to where it sets and doesn't drip down. So thin layers slowly, and get all of the cracks and everything. It makes the world of a difference. Also, I used a high gloss furniture lacquer, I think it's called, and then I also did 1 or 2 coats of clear coating of the same lacquer by Rust-Oleum, just because I wanted to be sure with this project. And then now I'm moving on to taking out the staples. So basically I just took a knife and I took all of the staples out by hand. And another tip that I would have after doing this is I realized like halfway through that once you get like most of them out, you can kind of just peel the fabric off when the staples will come out with it. So you don't have to necessarily individually peel each one. If you want to be careful, you can. But then I had to keep removing my cats. But anyway, so I just did that. I did the top part first, and then I went through this part. This was a little tricky because they had like double layered of fabric. I don't know. But other than that, it was super simple. Okay, so what I'm doing basically is just going into the staples that are previously there. I don't think I necessarily have to do that, but I want to because someone I think DIY'd this before me and there are a lot of staples. So I'm gonna try my best to get them all out and get this fabric off. And also I want to use the fabric as like a template, you know, for my fabric. So like size wise. So I'm gonna try to get it off and then I'll come back to you. Okay, so here. Basically, I do not look very good right now. Basically, I have this whole section, and it looks like I could, if I wanted to, take this pink part off, but I just don't want to because I don't want to ruin it. Like, this is pretty, and I just don't want to do that. So I'm just going to do what the last person clearly did and just staple over. I think it'll be okay. I don't know what the pros and cons are of not taking off, but I'm not going to, so yeah. I think I'm gonna start trying to cover it, maybe, yeah.
All right, the part that I was most excited, but also most nervous about was like actually stapling the fabric. So I bought way too much fabric. So I bought 3 yards of fabric, by the way. I only needed probably 1 yard, maybe even less than that. I don't know what I was thinking. I just Googled. I didn't even measure. That's the sad part. I didn't measure. I just kind of like Googled how much should a chair have, and it said 2 yards, and so I just got 3 just to be safe, and so now I have 2 extra yards of fabric. So anyway, I was, like I said, very nervous but excited to do this. I have my staple gun from Home Depot ready to go, and I kind of just was fitting it like the way that I wanted it to lay because I didn't want the corners to, you know, bunch up or anything. So I kind of just decided to do this part first, and then it doesn't really matter how tight you pull necessarily on the first the first 2 edges like that, but as you go you want to like kind of pull the fabric into the middle so that it gives there's no extra fabric basically on the other side. So I just made sure I kept pulling it towards me while stapling and getting it as tight as I possibly could. And then for the edges, I just kind of like folded it to where there were no like bumps or edges or anything on the like corners, and it seemed to work fine. I really liked working with this fabric. It was really simple. It didn't give me any issues at all. I highly recommend if you are new to upholstering trying something like this because I loved that I didn't have to like worry about the staples as much showing, and just in general. And also like on the side pieces like this where it kind of would show, I kind of just folded over the fabric where I was stapling it so that there were no harsh edges or anything, and I think that really helped.
Okay guys, so my camera died, but this is how it looks. Sorry, the sun's going down, so I have the light on. But this is how it looks. I think it looks pretty good. If you can see, thankfully, I highly recommend using, if it's your first time, you know, doing upholstery. I feel like it's really nice that this is a fabric that like kind of hides the seams a lot. Like whenever it's on, I'm not going to be able to see it, you know what I mean, because of the fur. But I love how that turned out. And then this is how the base turned out, which I think it looked so good. It looks shiny. It still needs to like finish. It's like, it's dry, but it's like dry to the touch, but like not, you know what I mean, like completely dry. But I'm going to reattach everything now and see how it looks. I don't even remember how this was.
And now I'm just taking my drill set again, or my little screwdriver, which actually it wasn't as powerful. I needed my full-on drill for this, or just to do it by hand. Jared recommended doing it by hand, but like I said, I'm not patient, and so I just wanted to use my drill for it. So that's what I did, and I just drilled it into the sides, kind of created new holes. I didn't really know where the holes were because I covered them, so if you are worried about that, if your fabric's really thick or something like that, I highly recommend cutting out your holes or like knowing where your holes are so that that doesn't happen. But thankfully it was okay with this project for some reason, and it just was an easy drill back on, and it was perfect. So then I went to the bottom, and I don't think you necessarily need to it needs to be that secure because, you know, gravity. But I just put it in. I had trouble with that one, see it, because the fabric got stuck, and I think it would have been helpful if I knew to make like a hole for the fabric. But here is the final chair, and I personally love the way that it turned out. I know it's probably not everyone's cup of tea, but this is kind of just what I was looking for, and for under $30, or I'm sorry, under $40 for a flip and a chair, I will take it.
I am now sitting on the finished product, and it's very comfortable, let me say, and I think it turned out really well. So my overall thoughts on this are, I think I mentioned it in what I was saying and like the voiceover, but highly recommend if you are a first-time reupholsterer to get like a thick fabric or like a furry fabric or something like that. I think that really helped, and also the fact that it didn't have a pattern I think really helped, because I just was thinking while I was doing it, I was like, wow, if this had like a stripe pattern or like anything remotely that you had to like have straight or like match, just would have been 10 times harder I think if I had like that, a pattern or something like that. And yeah, so that's my end of the video thoughts kind of thing. Like I said, I'm sitting on it, very comfortable. I'll show you one last time, vlog style. For, let's see, the chair was $2.99, the fabric was $30, but I only used 1/3 of it, so I'd say I spent like $12 on the fabric, $4, $7 on the spray paint total, and then the staple gun, which was like $15. So everything was probably under $50 for this chair in total. I highly recommend finding a cheap chair and reupholstering because it's very satisfying and I feel very accomplished. So yeah, I love that. Sorry, I just kept this as a casual video of me not wearing makeup, just in a casual outfit. So much for watching. Make sure you subscribe down below if you are not already. I'm going to make more of these videos, so subscribe so you don't miss out, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.